On this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the Xbox One controller, some Watch Dogs news, and more. Hello again, fellow gamers. You are tuned in and listening to the GamerCast radio show on Spreaker, and YouTube, and Stitcher, and Podomatic, and SoundCloud, and every audio outlet, podcast outlet you could possibly think of. I'm Danny Catanese. It's Tuesday, it's August 13th. And we're going to go right into it and talk about some news. And the first thing off is the Xbox One controller that released some facts lately that I thought was interesting and I didn't see coming. But it is said that it will work on your Windows PC, just not at launch. Eventually, they're going to release the drivers in 2014, so the controller can be used on PC games once the driver is installed. Also, it's going to feature a wired connection, so it's going to come maybe with the secondary wire, or you have to buy one where it can go in so you can have a wire connection. And if you're big with competitive gaming, or you just take your Call of Duty and your first-person shooting very seriously, you know how important that bit rate is, and the connection between the controller to the console, and especially the internet. So I mean, anything wireless is never good when you're competing and you're taking it seriously, because there's always that lag in that bit rate that's going to be fluctuating in between space. So I think that's pretty cool that they implemented that feature on the new controller. They've really stressed that this is in no way, shape, or form the same controller, or even close to the same controller as the Xbox 360. And Microsoft recently released this statement saying, "The Xbox One controller, although it looks similar in many ways, shares no underlying technology with the current 360 controller. New wireless protocol, combined with the ability to work in wired mode, and the addition of features like impulse triggers, means that new software has to be written and optimized for the PC." And that was a statement straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Microsoft. So that's why we won't see it work until 2014, because it has to be optimized for the PC, and they have to write the drivers so it can recognize the controller. So it's not the same controller, even though it looks a lot like the controller. And as far as wired mode goes, it's just going to be a USB cord that you either have to buy. I don't know if it's going to come with the system. I watched the unboxing with Major Nelson. I didn't see another cord, or he didn't go into it. If there was another cord, he didn't really show it. So, but basically, it's a USB cord that plugs into your Xbox One controller and then to your console, and it shuts off the Xbox One's radio and just turns it straight into a wired controller. So, like I said earlier, if you take that seriously, if you take gaming seriously, and you'll know that you always use a wire controller, so that is going to be cool that you can just turn it directly into a wire controller. It won't be a wire controller, it won't be a wireless controller, there'll just be this Xbox One wireless with the capability of wired mode. And I think that's going to do it for the Xbox One controller news. I'm going to talk a little bit about the unboxing, just a little bit. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you're interested in the Xbox One, I suggest you probably go and look at that video, which has Major Nelson unboxing the console, showing the console off. You can listen to the new chime. You can see the controller, the Kinect, and the headset that's with it. And what's crazy is that earlier they weren't going to give us a headset with the console. Now they're going to backtrack and give us the headset to try to probably win back those people who initially left because of the whole DRM policy. So I don't know. I don't see a headset bringing back too many people. It's wired. It looks like the same kind of setup that they had with the Xbox 360, where it's this little plastic piece that clips on to the bottom of the controller and has the little wired wire going to your headset. So there's really nothing new there. And if you wanted to have like this incentive to come and grab this console, why wouldn't you just went wireless? It's 2013. Give us some wireless headsets, man. Come on. Seriously. I mean, although our Bluetooth headsets from our current gen will carry over and work on our next gen consoles, I mean, come on. Is it really that big of a deal to give us a wireless headset? Does it really cost that much money? I mean, I don't know. At least the PS4 headset looks cool. It looks like a kind of like an Apple headset. It has the wire that hangs down, and it's not like in front of your face, so the mic's like hangs down like the Apple headset. That looks pretty cool, but it's different. And at least Sony's trying something new. Microsoft's just ripping off the 360 and doing the same setup they did with the 360 controller. But I don't know. If you guys want to take a look at the video, if you haven't already seen it, go check it out. Major Nelson unboxing the Xbox One. Totally awesome. But that will probably do it for the Xbox One news and the portion of the episode. Next, we're going to move on and talk a little bit about Watch Dogs and some details that have been released recently to us. And this is coming from an Examiner.com interview. And they're saying that players will not be able to fly aircrafts in Watch Dogs. And the developers didn't feel it was the core to the experience they wanted to create. They also elaborated more, saying players will have access and will operate wheeled vehicles such as trucks, motorcycles, as well as a range of boats. While players will be restricted to ground and water-based adventures, they mentioned, using these vehicles, players will be able to explore the city proper, the rivers, the lake, and even beyond the limits of Chicago. So we can't fly, but we can drive in a boat and a car and motorcycles, and we can leave the city. We don't know how far we can leave outside of the city, how big the map is, or any aspect of that. But to me, that's kind of, I don't know, a letdown. It's kind of a disappointment considering how beautiful this game was looking in the next-gen game footage and how bad I've wanted to play this, and now we're not going to have the freedom that we had in Grand Theft Auto 4. They're going to be like restricting us, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. I mean, there is a lot of aspects to this game. You could, like the hacking aspect and the fact that you could use your tablet and your smartphone, and the city will be growing and living even while you're not playing. So there's a lot going on in the city. So, but man, no helicopters, no jets, nothing like that. We are going to have Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out soon, but that's, like I said in another podcast, that's just for current gen. We're going to have to wait probably another 4 or 5 months into the next gen release to see Grand Theft Auto 5 released for next gen. So I really wanted that openness, you know, and now it just seems like we're going to be restricted. But I really still have high hopes for this game, and I just hope that maybe, you know, we won't need it and we won't even think about it. But I mean, I know a lot of people, including myself, were looking forward to flying a helicopter of some sort or some kind of aircraft and just flying over the city and taking it all in. But unfortunately, no flying in Watch Dogs. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, on to some next news. Grand Theft Auto 5 online features will be released and talked about and shown August 15th. And I will have a show just talking about Grand Theft Auto 5's online aspect of it. They're already calling it Grand Theft Auto Online, so this isn't just a multiplayer aspect of the game. They're calling it just its own Grand Theft Auto Online. So this just might be what people have been anticipating for years, to have that kind of this open online persistent world and other people like inhabiting that world. I mean, that would be incredible, but we don't really know too much at all about this, but we will know in 2 days, and you can come back and check in 2 days, and I will have an episode talking about it in detail about Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. So that will probably do it for the Watch Dog news and for the Grand Theft Auto little tidbit I threw in there. Next, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the Wii U. And I talked a little bit about this on a prior podcast about how the sales weren't doing too good and how I expected the Wii to do a price drop probably by summer of next year. I also said that in Canada there was a sale going on that they were going to take $50 off of the Wii U Basic and off the Wii U Premium, but that never reached the U.S. I know it was in Canada, and I think eventually we're going to see that price drop come down. For Black Friday, we're going to see a price drop. And like I said, I really do feel that the Wii will do a price drop next year, but it has been said from the president of Nintendo, they are not dropping the price, at least not yet. And like I said, I, for one, I'm going to say it right now, I really do think that they should put this price down. But he feels that the price is not the problem. I do feel the price is the problem, and I'm going to tell you why. People are buying the premium Wii and not buying the basic Wii. So the president's going on saying, no, we're not going to take the price down. The price isn't the problem, because people are buying the premium more expensive Wii U, and they're not buying the basic. And you know why they're buying that? Because it has 32 gigs of freaking storage, okay? Which isn't much at all, but The basic has like 8. It has nothing. If you want to download something on your Wii U, it's going to be filled up in like no time with 8 gigs. So people aren't going to waste their time and get an 8 gig console, even if it does support an external hard drive of some sort. People are going to go for that 32 gig like I did. I went and pre-ordered and got a 32 gig Wii U, and I sold it. But I got that because I'm not going to go and waste my time on 8 gigs, and I think that's why people are buying the 32 gig premium Wii, because they know in the long run they're going to need some kind of storage, and they don't want to have to think about upgrading or getting another external device in the future. They just want to have that 32 gigs of space and just have it there if they need it, and they're not going to be able to do anything with 8 gigs. So I think the president of Nintendo is looking at this the wrong way. He's like, oh, the price isn't the problem. We're not going to drop the price. They're buying the more expensive one. Dude, they're buying the expensive one because you're giving them 32 gigs, and that's the only thing that you can give them. That's the only thing they have a choice of. It's either 32 gigs or an 8 gig, and I don't see anybody going to buy the 8 gig, and that's why they're not buying the 8 gig, and I don't think he understands that, but, and he also feels it's because of shortness of software and how third parties haven't really jumped on the Wii U yet. But I mean, that is a problem. I really do feel that the launch titles were lacking. I really feel that there are still hardly no big titles on the Wii U. I mean, Pikmin 3 came out. I mean, that's really the only thing you have out from launch other than a Mario game that's just upscaled to HD from like Super Mario Brothers Wii. I mean, come on. Honestly, really. I mean, nothing's really changed other than the fact that this is playing in 1080p like it should have in the first place. I don't understand why the Wii was only using composite cables and was only going in standard def. I just don't understand that. Like they never even released a Wii that did high definition. They never released a Wii later on and upgraded it at all. I mean, I have a Wii, and I soft modded it, and I have my components onto it so the picture can look as good as it can on my Wii. But and I'm happy with my Wii because I have my hard drive and I have a bunch of games on it. So I'm really happy with my Wii. I have no reason to upgrade to a Wii U. I said unless I feel that the Wii U is at a price that I think it should be. And I don't think the Wii U should be $350, especially with 32 gigs of internal space for a hard drive. That is ridiculous, and I'm refused to pay $350 for a system that only has 32 gigs and has hardly no games. So I think until they come to their senses and realize not only is it the software and the games, but also the hardware inside and the storage space, they're going to have a problem with this, and this could be huge for the Wii U. And I know you guys out there, some of you love the Wii U, and you love Nintendo, and I understand that. As a kid, I grew up on Nintendo. It was the first system I ever owned, and it started me playing video games up until now. So I respect Nintendo, and I love Nintendo. I just wish that they did something new and something better like they did with the Wii, but it seems like this whole Wii U thing is just it's too much for them to handle, and I really hope that they can recover soon, but who knows, and only time will tell. So, and I think that will do it for today's episode. Like I say at the end of every episode, if you like what you've heard today, please give me a like on Spreaker, follow my station. I'm also on YouTube, so give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing, and subscribe to my channel so you can be up to date with all the gaming news as it drops. For GamerCast Radio, I am Danny Catanese, and I will see you guys next time.